He did reference Twin Peaks though. Like that was like I was like, whoa, the whatever 16-year-old Tumblr girl that he's texting right now is really putting him on game.
Nice.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh
Well,
boy.
on that note, let's start
Okay.
the episode. Click.
Remember that record that you bought me like 2 years ago? Well, I just remembered that it's sitting in the closet. So I called you up just to tell you I've been meaning to listen to that. I've been meaning to listen to that. Why don't you come over and talk about it? Ooh, ooh, ooh. Why don't you come over and talk about it?
But hi, everybody. Welcome to the show. Welcome to I've been meaning to listen to that, the podcast where we go through albums we've been meaning to listen to and use it as a conduit to learn about each other and our guests. I'm Andrew Ambrose Lee.
I'm Stanley Philippe.
John Butts.
I'm Dakota Foss.
Yeah, Dakota West Foss is here.
Yes, Twin Peaks.
like, but yeah, like, welcome to the show. We're here to talk about Iceman by Drake. Iceman season's here. The boy is back. All that. All
That's why
that.
I wore
shit.
this hockey jersey.
Yeah.
Ah, fire. I mean, ice.
Got the
Yeah.
blue light going.
Yeah.
Blue light.
Oh shit.
So let's just get straight into it. Like, first of all, like, let's talk about Dakota. This is your first Drake episode you've done. So let's talk about our preconceived notions of what's your relationship to Drake as an artist.
I'm in my mid-30s now, which is a scary thing to say. Like, I went to college during the time that Drake had ridiculous commercial dominance. His stuff played at every party, every bar. And this was, early mid 2010s. I got pretty into Take Care when that was a thing, and then from then on out, I was like pretty plugged into whenever he was gonna drop. And I would say like there was a period of time where like Drake was never my number one. I was always like I was always a much bigger Kanye guy. But I would say like, Drake from being in like that same sort of orbit, like I definitely paid attention like a lot whenever he dropped, and got caught up like in the hype and excitement of that. And I was so into, if you're reading this, it's too late. Like I adore that album. And then for him to go from that to like winning the Meek Mill beef, I was like, this guy's cooking. And he kept hyping up Views as like the culmination of everything that he's done. And then ever since Views, it's just been like Views is a fine project. It's not a bad project. I would say that that's like the last good project from him. But Views, I think, was the start of a very long decline in quality to the point where, we've just gotten these awful husks of albums that are just 25 songs long to do stream bait. And yeah, like after a while I took some like sick pleasure in seeing him getting destroyed by Pusha T, and then thinking, damn, he got totally annihilated from that. That's probably the coldest diss track I'm gonna hear like in my life. And then the man just had to run his mouth again, and he got even dissed hard. I don't know. Maybe we'll talk about. Maybe I'll throw that out there. Which diss is harder? Is it Story of Addison or Not Like Us? Because they're both so hard.
It's the Pusha one. I've been thinking about this recently, actually, too. Like, I think it's the Pusha one because he revealed a truth, and he also went directly at his best friend who's like sick. Literally,
That part is the coldest anyone has ever been about anything. Like that's like cruel. Like that's fucked up. Oh.
Yeah,
I might actually agree with you on Story of Adidon, because after that song hit so ridiculously hard that you had all the comments were like laying out like it was people acting like referees throwing flags on the field, being like, you can't say that about somebody's friend. He has a sickness. And then Drake responded with a fucking press release, like an Instagram, like
I
apology
know
note,
everyone's
being
enjoying the
like, you know,
circus. Like,
yeah, it's yeah. I don't know. I mean, the way that he went about Not Like Us, like responding with that with the Heart Part 6 was like super pathetic. But I think that goes to show how strong of a song Not Like Us was, that like people forget that Drake even responded to that with the Heart Part 6. You know, it was just like, oh, we're all going to dance and have a great time. And like, yeah, Not Like Us is an incredible diss track that will live for generations. Whenever people want to look up, like, you know, who got destroyed, look up, you'll see that song. But people were also dancing to it and nodding their heads, you know, like it was everywhere. To the point where like sometimes I even forgot like that this was dissing. It was so about dissing Drake that it was not about dissing Drake. You know, it was like we all reached a stage of nirvana. But Story of Addison was just like, no, I fucking hate you. You have a kid with a porn star, and your friend's gonna die, and also you got weird feelings about your dad.
yeah, I think like Adidon is like a silver bullet. Like it's like there's no like contention of like he lost that one. Although like to be fair, Duppy freestyle is pretty good. Like I think it's a good push a diss, but like not near what Adidon did. But like with Meet the Grams, with the what's it called? With Not Like Us, with Euphoria, there's like it kind of like split. That's a moment that like kind of split like hip hop a little bit in two, where there's a Drake side and there's a Kendrick side, and there's like debate of like, oh, like Drake actually won, and here's the proof of all. I think this is also like a result of the culmination of internet culture, the culmination of stan culture, leading to this moment too. Like that wasn't as there with Pusha T, I think.
No, nobody who is a serious figure though is gonna say that Drake won or really ever stood a chance. Like push-ups was fine. Like push-ups was like a decent like warm-up track, you know? Like you had a what was the initial one with Future?
Like that.
And yeah, like that. Yeah. Like, you know, you had Like That, which was, you know, really Kendrick like throwing down the glove. And then, you know, Push-Ups was a good like picking it up, being like, yeah, I'm game, you know, and laying it out. I'll give Drake that, you know, like when Drake responded, I even like, I remember thinking like, okay, like he actually wants to do this again after like the whole Pusha T thing. Surely he's got to have a strategy in mind, you know? It's like, do you guys remember that show? It was like Hole in the Wall or something, where like the wall would be coming at you and you'd have to like contort your body to like get through it. Do you know that?
Well,
It's
you
like a
described it
Japanese
pretty
game
perfectly.
show.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can see it. Yeah.
Okay, John, you know what I'm talking about, right?
I've seen clips. I've never watched the show, but yeah.
Okay, well, yeah. Honestly, I've never seen the show either. Like, I've just seen clips, but there's some clips where like it'll just be somebody and like they're clearly not gonna fit through this like wacky hole where they're gonna have to like contort it, but like they keep staring at it and they sometimes they have like this determination in their eyes where you're like maybe they're gonna do it, and then they just get smacked by the wall and fall in the water, and like that's what happened with the beef, you know? It's like no, like this was never gonna work.
We
Okay.
can't wait. Real fast. Like you're right that no serious person could agree like let down that like Drake lost, but we live in a world not run by serious people. We have academics number one in the complex power list or whatever. Like they're not serious people like running the show right now.
Certainly we all live in hell world right now, and we're at not a good spot. Everything is bad. Everything is like objectively worse now than it was like a decade ago, right? I don't want to say that it's not, but like I think that academics and a lot of the people who are like championing, like all of these like grifters, like that type has always existed, Snoop Dogg has not just suddenly sucked. Snoop Dogg has sucked for like 2 decades now.
Why is Snoop
I'm
catching
throwing that
strays?
out there. Yeah, fuck Snoop Dogg.
Whoa!
Is it
Whoa!
just because
I'm
he's
tired
like,
of seeing.
is he's like the
I'm tired
he's
of
done like
seeing
the
Snoop
Shaq
Dogg
thing?
everywhere.
Is that like basically like gone corporate, like no spine sort of?
Yeah, it's just like Snoop Dogg and Kevin Hart, like they're two guys who like there's no dollar that they won't chase, Like you'll see them on advertisements for everything. I was watching the video game company that makes the Yakuza games. They unveiled a new game like 2 weeks ago, and I was watching it. It was super cool. They had this badass like hip hop pop song playing, and they're showing all the characters in the game that you're gonna meet. And then in the middle of that, Snoop Dogg shows up with a Fu Manchu, and I'm like, what? Why is he in this game? I can leave me alone.
Okay, one. I want to say for all the people listening, I love Snoop. Snoop, you're the dog father. Gin and Juice will always be a classic. No hate from me to Snoop, Q double G. For the beef thing, I think that Drake did really well in the beef. I just don't think that anyone, including him, expected Kendrick to be so prolific. It's almost like what we're seeing in the NBA Western Finals right now, where it's like, OKC was so dominant, and then they're now running into a pretty
Wemby.
well-coached team with a superstar in Wemby that makes it really hard for a team to game plan around. And so Kendrick just was very, very, very prolific with his approach. He was very professional, if you will. Like he had a really great opening lob in Euphoria. He then waited for the right time to do that double drop. Like everything that he did was just perfection. But Drake's bars, his diss tracks against anyone else, I think was pretty good. Like he had Meek Mill level bars. It's just he wasn't battling Meek Mill. He was battling Kendrick Lamar. But that being said, I think you're right. Like anyone who is objective and paid attention to this battle will clearly say that Kendrick won. Drake all over this album says that Kendrick won the battle, without
Did
saying
he?
it.
In oh so many words, yes,
I don't know about
absolutely.
that.
In oh so many
100%.
words, he's admitting defeat across this entire thing. We'll get
Yes.
into it, but this is
Yes.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, yeah.
ICEMAN is an album that is being wrapped from a coffin. You know what I mean? He's
Yes.
under the ground, and this is the audio you get when you put the microphone to the soil.
He's buried
Yes.
alive.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Let's
All
talk.
comes back to that.
Yeah, let's talk about this project though. Like, listen, like we did some algorithm talk. Let's talk about like this album in particular. Like, what do you think his strategy was with this project and with like the surprise drop? Like, what was he? Let's start there. Like, what do you think he's trying to do with this? What do you think are his goals?
I mean, I saw it summed up pretty aptly on social media, where it was the meme of The Simpsons where Bart's playing 3 chess games at once, and I was like, wow, he's playing 3 chess games at once, and everybody on the table is like, checkmate, checkmate, checkmate. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't know. From my perspective, it's frills. It's what he's been doing this entire time. It's volume without like follow through or like, being prolific and being able to make songs is like a great skill. I don't discredit anybody's ability to make music, but like you got your contemporaries that are delivering at like high caliber with what they like choose to release. I might even offer some concessions to J. Cole after listening to this project, because it's like, yeah, it's a new day, it's a new dawn, a new light for me. Like, because for someone to like put this out and put out, I didn't even get to Habibi. Full disclosure, I'm so sorry, you all didn't get to Habibi, but it's the Flood the Zone thing. It's the Steve Bannon thing. It's like, just put it out there. I can claim my relevance through volume versus like actually sitting down and like thinking about how this is going to be perceived, how long this will stand the test of time, et cetera, et cetera.
Oh boy. Okay. I'm gonna be that person I think on this episode
Do it.
where
Do it.
I have to push back a little bit on what's gonna be an avalanche of Drake hate. Because one, I am Canadian.
Keeping with the snow theme, huh?
It's, yes, the avalanche, I like that. Um, I am Canadian, and I've been having conversations with a lot of people about this album and about Drake. And my kind of initial take on it was like, oh man, why did he flood the zone with three albums? Now, since having these conversations and like listening to podcasters, my boy Lee Ban, who's not a podcaster but loves music, and he's like, man, like we're robbing the joy and the fun out of a listening experience. And so if you're a serious Drake fan, what do you want from Drake? You want an album where he's talking his shit. You want an album where he's giving you club hits, and you want an album where he's giving you a chance to be in a mood. I think that's what the most pure Drake fan wants. And so, in some ways, Drake addressed those three pieces by dropping these three albums. And so, I can't really fault Drake from a super fan perspective, if I was one, because you got fed really really well over these three albums. And John, I didn't listen to Heavy Teeth either. Like I love Maid of Honor, and in this Iceman I've been listening because we kind of have to. But yeah. So I think the fans are getting what they want, and I think Drake, in some ways, understood that he needed to get his fans back from the loss of 2024, because the whole idea was that like, hey, like here are these two titans and then one of them lost. How do you get back to the mountaintop? Well, you do this. You do what Drake does best, which is volume, 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 Big Macs, extra large fries, supersize that shit, and then get it to you. And ba da ba ba ba.
Yeah, that's
some people are loving it.
That's exactly what I was about to say, though. I think.
Are we sure he's not American?
Through your framing, Stanley, I feel like you are very captivated in Drake marketing and a little less like in tune with the product. Like a person can come to an aha moment and say like, this is actually garbage. I'm not going to say across the board that like these projects are garbage, but I think there's some level of like, we have to acknowledge that maybe that's not the formula and doesn't necessarily need to be the formula, despite the fact that that's worked for Drake. Even like from a fan perspective, like, don't y'all want to hear something slightly different, or at least a little bit more? Because like if we're coming through like the lyrics on this thing, like, what are we saying? What are we doing? Is kind of my take. Is the vibe that all that matters? Is because that's
yes.
For some fans, absolutely, that's true.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what matters, is the vibes. And I talked about this in other episodes. Like in hip hop, we've reached a point now where these artists are lasting way longer than they ever did. Before it was like you had a 5-6 year run and then it's like, cool, you're good. Now these guys are around for 15, 20, 25 years, and we're expecting them to perform like they were 21. I mean, Dakota, you're in your mid 30s, right? Like, are you peaking right now, or are you kind of like, shit, this is the other side of the thing? You know what I mean? Like, and I'm in my 40s, so like I've been past my prime, so I understand how that works. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I do actually have a this is not a joke. I do have a twin sister, and she did say to me not that long ago, "Did Twin peak?" Talking about me.
Yo, that's is she a ghostwriter for Drake? Is she writing for Drake?
She should. Like, look, I'm not at liberty to say. No, I think I think that I agree with a lot. Maybe I'll take the cowardly way out here. I think that both Stenley and John, what both of you said is like equally true. In that, like, I think that this is like a substanceless, like rudderless release that doesn't do anything to move the narrative of Drake. But I think that like I think that so much of this project and this triple album drop thing in the wake of the beef and where he's at, like in his career. I think it's just like this whole thing has mostly just been about the marketing because that's all Drake albums have been for like the last decade since More Life. Like it's been nothing but marketing every single time. There's just a new like instead of a new like slogan or campaign, it's basically just a new excuse. And he always is he's always prefacing every album that he has dropped uh since More Life with some sort of like reasoning or like plausible deniability about why it's going to suck shit. And it sucks shit every time. Oh, More Life? That's a playlist. Oh, honestly, never mind. Sorry, you guys weren't ready for that one. I guess we'll wait for you to catch up. Just every project after another. And I think on some level, like Drake has been going on for so long that I think what a Drake fan is now is very different than what a Drake fan was when his shit was really popping in the 2010s. And there's a lot of young people out there today that weren't around to know the difference. But, I'm Unk status now. And I can tell you that it's very different. There's a lot of similarities between Drake's fan base now and Kanye's fan base now. Like, albeit I think that there's a little more a little more complications with Kanye's, but like still I think that Drake's fan base now is far more grifty with, crypto, gambling, and there's
Aiden
so
Ross.
much misogyny now. Like there was always misogyny with Drake's music, but it was like, oh, who broke Drake's heart this time, on whatever. But now it's just like the
I mean, that music
it's
was
just
coming out
so
at a time where that perspective made sense though. Like when Drake was in his like mid 20s, like early 30s, being able
Right.
to like convey that in a like honest way, like you can buy into that. But like dude is getting up there to be like aligning himself with people like Aiden Ross and like streamer culture. Like in theory, you should be above that. In theory, you should be beyond that. And like, I don't know. That's the critical lens, but I also like agree that you can enjoy it. Like Stanley was saying, I don't know. I'm a little conflicted.
there's definitely like don't get me wrong. I think I see the merit in music that you can just vibe to, like I like a lot of Playboy Cardi music, and there is zero substance there. That stuff is just put your ear up to your dishwasher when it's running, and that's like pretty close to a Playboy Cardi album. But I like it. It's kind of like this psychedelic vibe thing. And he does that sometimes on here. I mean, the big song that's popping right now, Janice STFU, like that's like totally, taking cues from rage and psychedelic, like whatever. But just so much of it here, like it just sounds to me as somebody who was maybe never like a Drake super fan. I just like I always need to push back against the narrative that like Drake albums have always been a certain way because there's been like a clear drop off. I got to change my battery. Hold on. Somebody else talk.
I was a Drake super fan. I'll just hop in and say that.
Yeah.
Like I know that there's like first impressions and like we did the if you've been reading this is too late episode. I don't exactly remember what I spoke to there, but like I've been listening to Drake since this motherfucker was hitting the blogs. Like since blog era, since pre if you're watching the YouTube, pre-Andrews background Drake. Like we're talking mixtape Drake, backpack Drake, Force So Far Gone, like Ransom going toe to toe with Lil Wayne Drake. So in terms of like the arc, and honestly, Degrassi Drake, wheelchair Drake, like before he
Jimmy?
before
Wheelchair
he
Jimmy.
knew what a lineup was, Drake, Jimmy. But so I wish I could say that I'm disappointed about what's going on right now with Iceman, but honestly, I've been wearing the stupidity glasses. Like it's a stupidity feast. Like I've been just smiling. Like this is what Drake is now. I'm listening to him talk about like not talk about, but like use weird voices and say like very silly, like almost dad jokes. Like I at this stage, I feel like I've accepted it to some extent. And for me, Iceman has been like a better experience than say For All the Dogs or CLB or Scorpion, because I think we've had all of this debate about the quality. That's all out on the table. We had the beef. Okay. Got completely washed. And now here we are with Iceman, and I guess all of that's behind us. It doesn't have to be great. It can offer that vibe. Reach me, baby. I don't know what you're doing, but I'm a vibe with it. You know what I mean? But yeah, in terms of Drake, I don't know. I don't feel particularly conflicted anymore because I think I've accepted it.
I remember you were conflicted too.
You're misusing your influence, Drake. Don't talk about Bitcoin ever again. No, but yeah, I don't know.
He does that so much on this album.
Yeah, BTC, all that stuff. I know we'll get into it, but at this stage, Drake fandom for someone who was a super fan and like kind of hopped off the train, like even held on until Scorpion, probably like looks different for the folks that like acknowledge that he was not the person that we kind of knew for the quality that he was churning out pre 2018. I don't know. For the folks who are like still on the train, kind of like similar to what Dakota said, like y'all are on some other shit. Like y'all are at the hookah bars at 45. Like I don't know. I've got a life to live.
But that is a really important point here. It's that, like my brother told me, like if you're not outside, like you don't understand what's happening and why this music is resonating. And I'm not outside, so for me, this is not gonna hit the same way when I'm like chilling with my dog on like my actual dog on a Friday night at 9 p.m. instead of being at the hookah bar, like chilling with my boys, my other dogs at 2 a.m. So I understand that, and I think that Drake has not changed. I think we sometimes we get caught up in narratives, and so the narrative of Drake was that, hey, this is this really emotive person who is able to use this genre, this hip hop music, this rap music, and break through the bravado and give us vulnerability. And that was great, but Drake always had this idea of, hey, how do I pierce through this American market? Because I am a Canadian who was on Degrassi, who grew up in the suburbs and was also exposed to a culture that's part of my own culture because his dad is from Memphis, right? So he's always been kind of that dual character in his own life. And then getting introduced into the hip hop world by Lil Wayne and having that cosign and then winning, like actually becoming the biggest pop artist in rap music, like that then gives you a particular focal point. And I don't think he's ever deviated from that focal point. It's just that we don't here on I didn't mean to listen to that. We have a certain quality of our palate is very well developed. And so we kind of hear this and say, like, really, man, like this is all you got. But he's hearing it and saying, yo, people are going to love this. And it's hard to deny the streams because the numbers are telling you that people are actually listening, and whether they love it or not, they're listening to it. And that in that case, I think the comparable is not Kanye, it's Taylor. Like he's Taylor Swift. And what happened with Taylor is that there was a generation of fans that grew up and had kids, and their kids listened to Taylor, and now they are super connected to that Taylor Swift machine. And Drake is the same thing. They're this generation of kids who grew up listening to Drake and are now adults with younger kids or with nephews and nieces, and then they're listening to Drake, but their introduction to Drake was Scorpion. Like it wasn't Take Care. It was Scorpion. So when they hear this shit, they're hearing Scorpion. They're like, yo, this slaps. This is so good, right? So like, I think we don't have to, but to try to understand why Drake is doing what he's doing, I think we have to understand his actual target audience. And we have to ask ourselves the question, like, what if he only dropped Maid of Honor? Like, what if there was no Iceman and all it was Maid of Honor? How would we have received that? Would we have said, "Oh, great job, Drake. You like veered left when you could have gone right," or would we have said, "Wow, this guy can't even rap anymore"?
Mm. Yeah.
I would have loved that. I would have said if he only dropped Maid of Honor, I would have said like yes, this is exactly what you should have been doing. I agree with you that he is now Taylor Swift. The two have so many similarities overlapping in career, but I'll throw out another comparison that I thought of when listening to this album. We're all familiar with like the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
So like a big part of the Super Bowl historically, like in the last 20 odd plus years, even people who don't, even the like go sports ball people, they'll still tune in to the Super Bowl to watch the commercials because they're like that was funny. And obviously like there's the halftime show too. But this year when you turned into the Super Bowl, the commercials weren't funny. The commercials were just yeah, remember the surveillance system from Batman? That's what we're doing now. Yeah. You kind of hate writing cards to your bitch wife, right? Why don't you just ask your cell phone for that? Like we're all of a sudden you're just like there's just all this shit on the Super Bowl that like was not trying to tell you a joke, was not trying to tell you a story or anything. It was just this is the way that things are going to happen. And that's it. We don't need to give you a reason. And when I hear Drake now in 2026, when I hear Iceman Drake, not Maid of Honor Drake, I like Maid of Honor Drake. Some would say I like Drake with the melodies, but I don't like Drake when he acts tough.
He's not
when
acting.
I hear Iceman, yeah, true. When I hear Iceman though, and when I hear him trying to make this like brand of bravado pop like stuff, I'm not hearing him like try to convince me of the chops that I know he has. I know that he can write. Like I know that he's a good rapper and he can write and he knows good like flows and he's very inventive of that. Like no matter how much you want to hate on the guy, like you can't take that away from him. But when I hear this, like I don't hear him putting in the effort to like really like establish another era to reset the like I don't hear him laying the like groundwork of resetting the narrative. I just hear him saying like I changed everything and it just actively gaslighting me that he laid down the bricks to a house when I can see the pile right over there,
When Pusha beat him in that battle, it was a bit different because one, it wasn't like a heavyweight fight. Like Pusha T from a pop perspective was not a known entity like Kendrick is. And so I don't think that Pusha revealing that Drake had a son did anything to hurt his record sales or his fandom. It just made it be like, oh shit, like here's a thing we didn't know about Drake. And is it true? Oh my God, it is true. And I think Drake with Scorpion was kind of like, all right, whatever, this shit happened. Let me just drop a bunch of like hits and then move forward. Whereas with this beef, he actually lost the heavyweight fight. And this is why it took him 2 years, right? Like Scorpion took him 2 months to drop it. With this, it took him 2 years.
Don't forget Some Sexy Songs for You.
Oh, I forgot.
We're not all still bumping Meet Your Padre.
No, we're not. But you know what I mean? Like I think he was so rattled that he didn't know how to actually get back into the ring, into the fight. And this is why I'm saying that he acknowledges that he lost the fight, because throughout this whole album, he's trying to reignite it. Like he is trying to, from actually naming it Ran to Atlanta to talking about, Muggsy Bogues dunking once. Like he's constantly kind of referencing the fact that Kendrick Lamar beat him at the rap game. And now he has to try to find a way to get Kendrick to fight him again. And in the meantime, he's going to flood the market with all of this stuff, blah, 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 blah. And so I think that it's a good strategy for a loser to do this. Like if you lose something and you don't want to lose it, the way to get it back is to poke the thing that got it from you and say, hey man, I'm still here. Let's do this again. Whereas Kendrick's strategy with GNX was, I won. Now let's go like dancing.
I would say that Kendrick with GNX was like Kendrick being like, I won, I'm the best alive. What does that mean? Like this is my like it was a long victory lap, but it was a victory lap more about like winning the heart and soul of like hip hop, less it was less Kendrick like going around being like I beat the shit out of Drake. Ha, ha, ha. It was like Kendrick was doing the exact thing that I'm talking about Drake not doing, where Kendrick like painstakingly laid the groundwork on GNX. Like, he had some storytelling about the beef, and then, like copying Tupac's what's the name of that song? Reincarnated. Like he's like paying homage to, hip hop legends on this and really showing that he understands like his own admiration for the game and how much he loves the thing that he is clearly the best at. Whereas like on this, Drake is just like, I don't know. These are winning strategies, like you said, Stenley. These are winning strategies if you're a fucking loser, he's just grasping at straws to put as many apostrophes in the record book as possible. Yeah, I lost the beef, but I got three albums that charted in one week. Like, oh, I beat Michael Jackson's single records. Now nobody will think I'm a wait, no, fuck, I just made the whole connection. Like, it's just like he's just like it's just fucking loser behavior, man.
Yes, jokingly, it is loser behavior, and then seriously, it is hurt feelings behavior. Like
Definitely.
Drake is hurt, right?
Yes.
Because like this wasn't just a beef for Drake. This was a moment where the industry, who he thought he had a close tie to, revealed themselves and saying like, we actually don't like you. And so I think that Drake, and he says it on his album, like he was literally hurt by the guys who he thought were his guys, like his guys, like they were speaking Guyanese, like his guys, like he thought that those were his people, yeah. And then one by one they all just at him at the earliest time possible, and so I think that he is hurt on this album, and that first track and that last track reveals that hurt. He tells you,
but he definitely did not cry. That's what I'm saying.
Classic.
That's what I'm saying. He's saying he's clearly hurt, but he's saying he's not hurt. Which is it? And then it's just like, I guess what it is, number one. Yeah.
No, but you know what it is? When someone says, I definitely didn't cry, they definitely cried. You know what I mean? And so we know what it is.
1,000%.
So we know that he is an emotive person, and he is emotionally broken from this battle. Whereas I think Kendrick, after the battle, he said to himself, all right, let me introduce to the world the new Kendrick. I'm no longer TDE. I'm going to use the opportunity to platform some of my artists and showcase the Kendrick 3.0. I don't think it had anything to do with the beef. Whereas this one is like, I have to reclaim something, and I also have to like air out all the people that wronged me again, because I'm still hurt by Ross and by I forget everybody else, Khaled and fucking the guy from Burger King.
Can you be hurt when like the story behind the scenes is he's the master manipulator? Like if you're doing dirty work behind the scenes and like
did this man not release a song 5 years ago called No Friends in the Industry?
Yes. Yes, and between then and now, he has made tracks with all of these industry cats because they all needed to eat. And when he made tracks with Drake, they all ate. And then when it came time to back Drake, they all said, "No, bro, we're going with the winner." So how would that make you feel?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like that is a compelling angle. That could be a compelling angle. And maybe the Drake of yore, first off, would never have put himself in this position to begin with. So let's start there. But like also the Drake of yore might be able to take a step back and write like, a compelling album that actually is vulnerable. None of this like fake vulnerable, like the kind of vulnerable that Drake is now is like he, did one therapy session because the girl he was dating was like, you need to do this or we're breaking up. And so he did. And he learned just enough therapy speak to come back being like, yeah, actually now's not like a really good time for me. Like, don't actually ask me what's wrong. There's just like too much that's going on. Like, like the old Drake could actually be vulnerable and like write about, like, oh shit, I just lost a rap beef, and oh shit, I'm 40 and I'm not married, and like I'm a dad, and like there's all these people that abandoned me, and on some level I deserved it. Like he could go through that. But instead, we're fucking
He
going
did it
through this
though.
album.
No, but he
and
did it. He
Where?
did it on
I
make
no, he
them
didn't.
cry.
No, I'm
Make
kind
them
of.
cry. Make them cry. Like
I-
make them
okay,
cry.
okay,
Does
make
exactly what you're asking for. He addresses the fact that he's 40, that he's alone, he lost his beef, he has no friends, he's trying to really find himself again, and he's like, you know what, y'all wanna know where I'm at? Here's where I'm at. Now fuck all of you guys because I've got mob ties. Like he literally has mob ties. Like Drake is the Jimmy he does. The Jimmy that we all knew from Degrassi. I'm telling you from my Toronto
Oh,
sources.
he's dead now.
He's gone now. Literally, he's dead now. R.I.P. Jimmy. Um, Drake is connected, right? He has mob ties, and so he cannot give you a whole album on Iceman where he's just like, yeah, golly gee, I lost this battle and now I'm really emotional about it. And you know what? I'm 40 and what am I doing in my life? God, I wish I had a girlfriend. No, he's got to spell out the M, the O, and the B. The O, the C, the T, the O, the B, the E, the R. He's got to win that spelling bee. He's got to win the spelling bee.
See, when I heard that part, I was like, he was probably teaching Adonis like the alphabet, and then he was like, hold up, I don't know. Like I hear you, I acknowledge you. This is me using basic therapy speak and
Therapy
weaponizing it. I hear you, I acknowledge you. Make Them Cry is one of the better songs from this album, right? Like I feel like I feel like that's the case with me, and the vibe check that I get like around the internet and like reviews and everything like that. Most people like that. And most people hearing that are like, okay, is he gonna cook? And then it quickly just kind of goes back to like, let me tell you about Bitcoin. Oh, let me tell you about OVO Braden in the cut.
But
like,
what's the number one
he's
song?
just like
What's the number one song right now in
Genesis
America?
TFU.
So this is my whole point. While we all say, "Oh my God, make them cry," that's what I want to hear. No one is playing that song. They're playing Janice, shut the fuck
No.
up. Why is that though? Right? Like I think we have to honestly recontextualize how we're gonna process this because we all think that we know Drake because we're like, yo, why didn't he do Make Them Cry times 10 throughout this album? When Drake
No.
knows the number one track is Reach Me, Baby, call myself from when you need me, baby. Like that's the shit that's gonna actually pop. And so if you want to be a pop artist, you got to play the popular records, and the popular records for Drake are not the ones where he's introspective anymore. That doesn't hit.
Yeah, but I gotta push back. Like the dream
Sorry,
version
Andrew.
of Iceman.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I just Stenley's out of pocket for this one. Like I just I think like the idealized version of Iceman, like I don't think it has to be, how many songs are on here? 18. I don't think it had to be 18 versions of Make Them Cry. And, like something like that is never going to rule the radio. Like but Drake's old hits, like, you know, you listen to a song like Take Care, like that song is like kind of mellower, and you know, it's dancey, but it's still like kind of a vulnerable, like sexy, flirty, fun thing, you know? Like that was the joy of Drake, was kind of partaking in the like actual poppiness of it, you know? Like like, yeah, he could do the rap, but he was most fun because he was like this pop star that really knew how to like navigate those waters. But like Janice STFU is such a nothing song, and it's only catchy and sticks in your head because it's ripping off Licky Lee's I Follow Rivers, which is already a song that people love. Like it's just that hook. So if you took like if you took that hook and you just plastered it onto any like Drake song, or like any similar sounding hook. Drake has done this for the last couple album cycles, you know, Way Too Sexy. It's just the hook to I'm Too Sexy. Like,
Let me.
But
I don't know.
this is how
Like,
you get to factory farming, though. Like what you using like
yes.
Take Care as an example in that era of Drake. There's almost like an artisanal, like Quincy Jones like approach to like ensuring that that's a quality product. But once you've like figured out what people enjoy, you can start, you know, scaling and like getting rid of all of like the quality beef, you know what I mean? And here we are all these like a couple decades later, and we've got Janice Shut the Fuck Up.
By the way, here's my here's a song I wrote. My name's Andrew Lee, and I'm here to say it's fun to rap in a Drake way. Happy birthday to you. Like that, and that song goes number one.
It's a fire. It's a
Do an
fire
interpolation of Happy
That's
Birthday to
pretty
You.
much it.
Like,
yo, OVO Andrew in the cut.
well, okay, let's go into themes because I have one more comparison to do. Like we're the pre-talk. This is like we have one more comparison that is super obvious that we haven't talked about, which is the Michael Jackson one. And obviously, there's like the more look, the quality wise, nowhere near. Obviously, like we got the superficial record thing, like the number ones and stuff, and like kind of him being famous in the internet age is probably similar-ish. But like I feel like Meet the Grams is the Finding Neverland documentary, and then this album and then this album is the Michael movie. You know what I mean? I'm just like
That's actually wait, hold up. That's a bar.
crazy.
like
Clip that
Hold
shit.
up.
and here's
Clip that shit.
this is me not saying that he did it. Like Mike, I'm talking about Michael Jackson per se. Like this is not me saying he did it or he didn't do it. I actually didn't do the research on like, you know, the proof, and
I'm saying he did it.
Sure. But like, so the documentary shocked the world. Like the Meet the Graham shocked the world. And I remember watching the documentary, and I remember the Oprah special with the survivors, and like I remember like, you know, there being like kind of a dark period of like people like kind of like distancing themselves even further from the Michael Jackson music. But it's both time passing, the music being powerful, the people like kind of questioning the credibility of the documentary. Like there's obviously the stands who are going like, oh, they did it for money, all this stuff. And like, you know, the way that people are questioning Meet the Grams of just like, oh, you know, maybe there's no daughter, maybe there's this, like where there's a lot of smoke, but there's no like smoking gun per se. So by the time it's like 2026, there's just a Michael Jackson movie in theaters. You know, there's just like, just by sheer those three things. And like the Michael Jackson movie isn't good. I saw it. The Michael Jackson movie isn't good, but you can kind of acknowledge the greatness at the same time. You can kind of like this I don't know, but
the
also
movie?
the movie, like
The
just
movie
like,
or the band?
the movie, just like
It's all the hits. That's what the
yeah,
movie
just
is.
like
It's
presses all the
hits.
buttons
Yeah,
that
yeah.
make
Great.
me happy, you know? Like
Movie's great. Movie's great.
Yeah, it's not, but like it's like but like there's like the trope of like make them remember, make them, you know, pay, make them know, all like kind of that through line in the album. Another one should be make them forget and make them ignore. Like I think like the Drake master manipulator thing is like
That's the total like bitch made version.
yeah, like
Make
but
them
like
forget, make them ignore,
he
make
wants
them buy me ice cream.
he wants he wants the people who made him suffer to remember that they made him suffer, and I will not forgive you. He wants us to ignore the MAGA coded nature of his art. He wants us to ignore the colonizer stuff. He wants to forget or ignore that GJ Academics was like grooming a kid streamer on camera. Like he's like making us like kind of like molding the narrative to like make us ignore the parts that he doesn't want us to think about, and then like we forget, and then this is why we like the way like people forgot that Trump was awful in the first term and stuff, and then like people are like, man, I miss when I miss when the prices were this and that, and then I feel like it's the same way with like Drake is kind of preaching a prosperity gospel thing here, where he's like saying like um there's the thing about like there are no rap songs in the top 40 thing anymore because Drake's not here and we need a Drake in the thing. And then like by people forgetting, I think that's how we let him back in again, like
Well, but Drake is not lying though. I think that's where it's different between Michael and him. Like with the Michael stuff, like yeah, it literally hurt his streams, his listens, his brand. Whereas Drake post battle like was still the biggest streaming rap artist on platforms, and so I don't think that the battle hurt Drake at all, unless you're Drake himself. If you're Drake himself, then yes, it hurt you because you as an individual thought that you were the number one of the big three. And when you had a chance to actually battle against another big three guy, you lost. So it hurt him. But nobody else cared. Like nobody really cared the fact that Drake lost the battle. We weren't questioning. I don't think most people were questioning whether or not they should listen to Drake anymore, or whether or not Drake will be able to rebound and produce like a Take Care level album. I mean, he hadn't done that in so long that none of us really cared. Like people only wanted McDonald's from Drake, and they got it again. And between the battle and now, it's true. Like rap wasn't popping like that in terms of popularity, actual pop culture relevance. Yes, rap needed Drake, and guess what happened? Like he came back, and rap music is banging again. So I think like we shouldn't discredit the impact that Drake has had on the industry, on the actual rap industry, the music industry. And so he has the right to kind of say, y'all, your savior is not your savior. The thing that Drake is missing though is that Kendrick is not trying to be the rap industry savior.
he's trying
Like Kendrick's not trying to be anyone's savior, really. And so he's kind of missing the mark on that. But I think we shouldn't fall into the trope of like, oh my gosh, like Drake was so hurt by this rap battle. He wasn't hurt at all. Like Drake the brand was
well,
not hurt
you
at all.
just said yeah, I know, like okay, you said Drake the brand.
Yeah, the brand. The brand was not hurt at all.
I don't know. I got to push back against that again. I think.
Okay, but before you
like,
do,
Drake,
Dakota, tell me
Okay.
what you thought about
Okay.
Drake the brand before the Kendrick battle, and what do you thought about Drake the brand after the Kendrick battle, and how it shifted.
I think that Drake, the brand, has shifted in that, like, it was never going to be a case where, number one, he was going to get, like, jaw ruled, right? Like, I don't think that that was ever really in play. Even, I mean, pretty much what happened to Drake was already, like, kind of the worst case scenario, worst case Ontario, if you will. Um, but I do think just in layman's terms, people like whenever Drake's name is brought up now, like you get one of two reactions from people. In my experience, maybe it's different elsewhere, but like I think that you're right in the sense that most people don't care enough, like where if you play an old Drake song, they'll be like, yeah, I like that song. Because you know what? Hold on, we're going home. Fantastic song. And I'll vibe with it. But like the two reactions that you'll get whenever Drake's name is brought up is like they'll chuckle that he's like maybe a, or two, there will be like dudes that are like, oh, I fucking love Drake. Like, and they'll make it like kind of serious and weird, and you're like, relax, you know. Um,
I feel
they'll cross their arms and just be like, yeah, I don't know, not like us. That wasn't that good. Like, when it's just like factually and verifiably like untrue, the reality that they try to paint. But Drake is obsessed with that. Like Drake is obsessed with his legacy. If you watch like these Iceman video episodes, like it was like episode 2 or 3, they had like the Pinocchio running around, and like they at one point they sat at a table and the table said legacy in ketchup. Like just really dumb gauche depictions of some sort of thematic resonance that he thought what he was doing. Um, and the thing about Drake is, like, people still listen to him a ton, and I'm not gonna deny that these songs are gonna get a ton of streams because just I can see the number of streams here. Nobody's gonna fucking care about any of these songs a year from now. People are gonna forget about Janice STFU. Like what? Like, is anybody still bumping Rich? What was it? Rich Baby Daddy from For All the Dogs. Do you
No,
remember how that song goes?
yeah, and that's my point. I don't, but that's my point is that the battle didn't change that, right? Like nothing about the battle changed the fact that Drake produced music every year since Views, and for that year it dominated, and then you kind of forgot about it. And he dropped something new, it dominated, and you forgot about it. And then the battle happened, and you know what, he lost, and then he drops music, and everyone bumps it, and then you forget about it. Like nothing's changed with the brand. It's still the same guy.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
it
I
seems
think
like
that
you're
it's
less
I
concerned with like the folks that tap into the discourse around what it means to be Drake versus the kind of passerby or like listener to some extent. If I'm
Yes,
interpreting you right, Stanley.
yes, because the
But
passive, because yeah, go ahead.
it just reminds me of what Most Def said about Drake, and it's like, oh, it's like, what do you think about when you hear Drake music? He's like, oh, so many skews. Like, it just fits in with consumer culture. It's like he is a part. Is like on this album, he said he was trying to fight the machine, which I like wholeheartedly disagreed with because, dude, you are the machine. Like you are
Yes.
nested within everything that capitalism and like keeping the rat race going. You're synonymous with all of that shit. So it seems like
Yes.
that's kind of like what you're saying in terms of what it means to like his brand. It's like, no, just like you said, people are going to tap in, they're going to tune in, play the most popular track. It'll be on the playlist. It'll be on the NBA highlight to commercial moment. You know what I mean? And then it'll be on to the next.
Mhm.
Yeah, like I guess like let's go into songs. Let's talk about some songs here. My highlight is the first song. I really love this version of Drake. I love the Too Much Drake. I love Sandra's Rose. I love Tuscan Leather. I love Look at What You've Done. I love that Drake. That's my favorite type of Drake. Where it's like he's rapping vulnerably and honestly, and it's a perspective that's like not as common in rap music. So I love it. And here he's talking about like like the dynamics of his mom and dad, and like also just like dealing with his aging parents and stuff like that. I love like the second beat switch, like for my mental.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
love that. It just gets me every time. Um, this is like I think this is like I think we should give him a little credit in terms of like I think the thing that really rattled Drake the most, because he mentions it like twice in this album, is you should do some ayahuasca and like look inside yourself. He mentions it twice in this album, and like that's the thing that's like more so the PDF stuff he can kind of like shake off. That's not true, or just like you say I ran to Atlanta. Well, look at this. Like these guys consented. Like it's like you can kind of like shake off those, but you can't. He's like rattled by that one, and like he's not going to
These
listen.
guys consented.
Rightfully so, though. Rightfully so.
This kid gave me the okay.
Yeah,
I'm
like,
good.
but like, but like it's like I think the reason why we're not going to see the 2009 Drake with the intimacy and the innocence is because as an audience we will use that vulnerability against him. If he says, "Man, it really hurt," like if it like earnestly saying like I was very very hurt by this, people are going to seize on it and go, "Say Drake," like all this stuff at him. So like I think this is him reckoning. This is how he could be vulnerable by like talking about his relationship to vulnerability and to opening up, of just like if you open up then someone else will say you have to dig deeper, and it's just like but I opened up, but I dug deep, and like it's never enough for you guys. And it's just like I think I like that 40 is the character in this song, where like he's not going to listen to Kendrick, but he will listen to his friend, like his longtime friend and creative partner, about like opening up and stuff. And like I think this is the most lucid view of where he is right now, the most human view of where he is now. One of the best Drake songs in a long time, and some great punchlines and puns too. So I like it.
But even in this, he's like, I don't want to dig deep. I hate how that makes me feel, but I will stay over here in the cut and load some rebuttal. I will get petty. It's like, this song also, like, I agree, I enjoy, but he also like kind of validates why everyone has problems with him in this track as well. So I don't know.
But I like that. do that. Like, I don't know. Like you had an album with your mom, your dad, and yourself as a baby. Like that's the album to do that with. But like, of course, he's not going to do that because that's not the brand. That's not Drake the brand.
Yeah. Yeah, this is why this song is so good, and it's well positioned as the opening track. And again, with all this conversation we've been having, like the line of what died back in 2024 was a big piece. So it's like this shit is me, but it isn't me. Y'all keep asking me what it did to me. That's what it did to me. Right? So he's addressing the fact that we all wanted to know like what you would have done if you didn't win. I guess we're gonna know. And what we figured out is that he's going to double down on this because he doesn't, in his mind, he doesn't have a choice. Because if he actually does the work and kind of realizes, wow, like the impact this had on my psyche, on my confidence, on my self-esteem, if he does that work and unpackage that, he cannot then drop like a Janice shut the fuck up, right? Because it doesn't align anymore.
He's in this album, he's talking about being a billionaire. And there's this interview with Mark Andreessen, like I believe, about like I became a billionaire because I have no introspection, like and like the no like awareness or just like forgetting or ignoring like just like personhood, and like the idea that like I think Drake's challenge is the thing about like his like feeling abandoned by his dad, feeling like his dad was an absent father, and then like having through his success like having his dad back in his life, and then also like lifting his mom out of like an awful situation like through his art and through his like skill and talent. So like I think that like to psychoanalyze him, I think that put in his brain like I can buy connection, but it's a hollow, like with his dad it's kind of like a hollow connection. Like he's like it's clear like Dennis is like I didn't listen to your album, and like he's just kind of enjoying the spoils of being Drake's dad, and then like that spoils into like I can buy my friends, and like I can have sex with this woman, and if she doesn't do what I want, then I'll take her back to Metro housing and stuff like that. And like this is like this is why the music is empty, is because it's about the ethos that makes billionaires.
Yeah.
Iceman.
Yeah.
All right,
Iceman.
all right.
Yeah.
But oh man, it's like there, but he's aware, but doesn't want to say that it's there. But Iceman being the title, it's like an acknowledgement.
Mhm.
It's like he's like, I choose me, but like in the worst way.
Yes.
Yeah, I choose me derogatory.
Exactly.
I just like I don't know. It's so hard to put a bow on this album like with any clean narratives because Make Them Cry is, about all of those things and like is very like thematically resonant. But then Make Them Know is like the complete opposite direction, Like he's like once again just a cute like he's throwing out empty threats, No, they don't they're taking it up on the digital because they know it can get physical. And like talking about like bot streams and everything and it's just like regressing to all these terrible vile narratives that like just
But
the Drizzy subreddit is making.
If we're thinking about the sandwich between like that and in like the sort of robotic nature of like how that Make Them Know is like delivered, it's almost like, I don't know, he can't even muster up keeping up the facade anymore, but he still has to.
Yeah.
He says,
I
switched the I with the E and I'm tired. Like, that's what he's saying. Like, I'm tired of this. Like,
yeah,
it's hard being an Iceman.
No,
like,
John, like that's honestly like a great point. Like if you wanted to, you could extract from this album. You could inject your own meaning in this album and show that like in a very metatextual sense, this album is about breaking is about Drake succumbing to what it means to be Drake. He starts the album off unfolding with all these demons and this vulnerability. And then for the next 17 songs, he proceeds to devolve into this empty husk of a man who just can't let anything go or let anyone get the best of him or let anyone close. Like,
so much
and
so,
maybe that's how I'm going to choose to read it.
So much so that he has to do Too Hard for the Radio. It's like, it's that, I mean, we are kind of hop skipping and jumping over highlights, lowlights. I don't know what to say, but it's like that song almost sounds like he's rapping with tears in his eyes. Like,
yeah, because he's trying to do what Kendrick did to him. Like Kendrick out popped him on the battle, so now he's trying to out West Coast him on this, and it's a fire track. I mean, one of my highlights. That for me, that song is a highlight. Like let's just remove the Drake bias. This shit slaps. Like it is a really, really good song.
Hey, talk about connecting to the youth and like what it means to like be the Drake product. Like even my kids, 5 and 2, for the radio, like their little selves. Like we were bumping it over the weekend. Like it's effective. I'm singing that shit.
That's what I'm talking about.
Maybe part 1 of that song is better than part 2, but hey,
Agreed.
I've been living life. Like the melodies on that one are very captivating, very Drake-esque. And one thing that I think as like a global note before, I don't know, everywhere, as this album is a lot of fun in a lot of ways, like for its stupidity and for like, I don't know, just like leaving all of it at the door. Like if you want to just assume that everything happened, if you just like enter this like Drake fantasy world, there's some really enjoyable moments. I guess if I was gonna take the mic and say a highlight, I kind of like how dumb Shebang is. Like it's so dumb. Like the flow is silly.
That's the Hickory Dickory Dock song.
Yeah, but it's so it works in like this like reverse psychology way, whereas it's like almost post irony, but like you're like, this song sucks. Okay, it's kind of silly. I'll laugh at it. But now I'm like actually enjoying it. I've like had that arc this entire time or whatever. You adjust. Shebang is dumb, but it's good. And like all of his ops being dead couldn't be the furthest thing from the truth. It's like you're the dead one, but that's okay. That's why you're ice cold, because there's no blood. Y'all, your blood has recessed. Like, how does it sound? Repressed. Like you're having a tough time, my guy, but it's okay.
But like, there's something there. It's dumb in kind of a smart way too. Like he's kind of like these songs are crafted. Like these are crafted songs. These are like, this is the best Drake has sounded in a long, long time to me. Like this, he's putting effort into like I feel like he's putting effort into this album in the way I didn't feel as much with like Certified Lover Boy. It's like, it's like track 20, it's track 25. Let's just mumble here and there and call it a day. Like I don't know. I like this. I like it that it's a Migos reunion. Like Takeoff's ad libs are in there. Like, so it's just like kind of one of the first times, like, cause like they fixed their relationship, like Offset and Quavo. So like they're on, all three of them are on the song technically, and it's like really beautiful. Here's my impression of Drake looking at the top of the charts. Ben Son Boone. Anyway, so that's like
this track is so good. Like it's like I was listening to Bully after listening to this for like whatever many days, and like Bully has a light to it. It's like Kanye was trying to be more light with it. And Shebang for me is like the moment on this album where he was like, let's get out of the darkness. Let's get out of the like 6 a.m. in Toronto, like driving the cold type of vibe. And let's go to a party somewhere and just be dumb. And I think it works really well because it's like Whispering My Name happened, Janice Shut the Fuck Up happens, Ran to Atlanta happens, and then Shebang happens. And you're like, yo, finally, I can kind of like relax for 2 minutes. And because of that, I always go back to it. Like it's a huge highlight for me on this album.
I feel the same way about National Treasure. Just like people like clown the squid line, but I think he's just being goofy.
Oh my gosh,
I think
that shit is hilarious. It's so good in like such a silly.
I feel like a squid. Like it's like
check signing is my king, pushing out ink. I feel like a squid. It's so dumb. But
bag with
so
a pipe. They
good.
came from a Scottish home. Like that's funny. Like
fire. It's fire.
Yeah.
I was Iceman. I was a nice man, but now I'm hot and cold.
No, that's where we stop.
Yeah, see, like that's the line. That's the line where it crosses, where it's just like, nah, man. No. Can we change the title to Nah, Man?
What? But seriously, what else is he supposed to say on this album? An album entitled Iceman, like with like the sort of sensational, like comic book nature. Like you have to do a little bit of cheeky, I'm gonna get you, Batman. Like I'm Iceman, was an Iceman, now I'm hot and cold.
100%.
You got to do a little bit of that.
100%. A lot of that, man. Yes.
I don't know. I think that the whole wrapping of the album and even calling it Iceman, I think is lame. And I think the same thing, me and Andrew, we're in Chicago, and our quarterback Caleb Williams, he goes by Iceman, and I think that's a lame nickname for him too. Like it's a very generic nickname that like so many people have had in the past, where it's like the lamest way to be like, oh, he's ice cold.
But it fits this package of like becoming the guy who cares about the bees on the table. Like, if we're thinking about marketing, what's like the simplest thing that I could come up with for this run that people already understand and acknowledge? Like it's so like boardroom coded, if you will, where like it doesn't have to be, it's not deep because like there's artistry there. It's deep, it's surface level because that's what resonates, or what we know that'll connect. Iceman, I have a very clear visual for what that means. It's cold and it's a guy.
Yeah, I guess on that level, like to me it just feels like shifting a couple degrees from down the
Shifting
dial
it.
because
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
ice. But yeah, you get it. Celsius preferably because it's Canada. Um, but it feels like the same thing as like certified lover boy. Certified lover boy. Oh, he fucks like a lot of women and girls. Iceman. Oh, he's a cold guy. He's a that guy. Oh, that Aubrey. He's a cool customer. Like I don't know. It's just it's really lame. I and I get that like you know I like when he gets goofy with it. I think the ink, the squid line, that's fun. That's for sure fun. But I think the nice man thing, like, uh,
A little too far in the
it's
corny direction.
it's definitely too far, and it just kind of plays into this whole thing of like Drake is. Are you guys familiar with the internet term, like what a lol cow is? So it's like a very old term, and it's used for like kind of these characters of the day that pop up on the internet who get fame, and then they sort of like they just kind of turn themselves into a circus to get attention and like eyeballs on them. It's like playing into all of the worst aspects of the attention economy. Like you'll set yourself on fire just to tell people that you're shining bright. And I feel like this is Drake's like Drake has become that now. When he says things like, no more Mr. Nice Man, I'm the Ice Man, like and doing stuff like that where you know the legacy with the Pinocchio and all this stuff, like just getting way too specific about his OVO posse that nobody cares about, finally settling the score with like the Chipotle worker who gave them half the amount of meat that they felt they were owed, like at their order or something.
They
Like,
recorded him and
I don't,
everything. Like they had their phones
yeah,
out. Like,
it's just, it's just like
Wait, what?
I don't care. Like this used to be cool in like a non-temperature way, and now it just sucks. Like, but
Yeah,
sometimes it's
but
fun.
again, like
Sometimes it's fun.
yes, but again, like, and I'm Dakota, I'm with you. Like, me, am with you, but me, and you, we are not the people that he's looking to impress or attract or market to. So, I talk a lot about on these rap recordings about like hip hop culture and rap culture and the culture. This is like not about the culture. This is just about fucking internet pop shit that, yeah, it's gonna work. And it's the dumb shit on the internet works. And he's providing dumb shit and it works. So it's like I can't fault him for that. Sorry, go ahead, Andrew.
this might be the culture question mark with like the dominance of just like this ethos. Like I think like the when Kendrick said I'm what the culture feeling, he effectively put a dividing point between his ethos and Drake's ethos. But like right now, there's like right this second in 2026, there's like Drake has the popular vote right now. You know what I mean? And like
Yeah, but hip hop culture is not voting. It's not part. It's on the ballot. Like Drake has a popular vote for popular culture. Like what is popping in the mainstream, the memification, the AI generated culture. It has nothing to do with hip hop culture. So when Kendrick talks about like I'm with the culture feeling, like he's trying to have like a conversation within the family and he's saying like, yo, we got to keep this in house and figure out how we organize our house to ensure that the culture vultures don't fuck shit up.
I was about
Whereas
to
Drake
say
is
it's like
not having
that's a
that conversation.
grassroots campaign, is what
Yes.
Kendrick's trying to run.
Yeah. Where Drake has never, not, I shouldn't say never. Drake has decided that, like he says on Make Them Cry, like, yo, I'm not going to do the culture, quote unquote, conversation publicly. I might not ever do it ever because I'm too afraid of my feelings. So instead, I'm going to flood the popness and tell everybody, like, yo, it is Drake season. Let's go outside. Let's have some fun. Let's make foul threats. Let's rep our hoods, all that good stuff. But let's not worry about our cultural growth because that's not his MO. He is all about being a pop musician in the most purest sense of the word, popular music. What is popular right now? Drake has always been, will always be popular. And therefore, he's going to produce popular music and it works. And again, I'm not advocating for it. I'm just realizing through my conversations with my circles, like I can't fight the fight anymore and be like, no, man, like Drake's got to do better than this. Like Drake's got to be for the people. Like Drake's got to open up. There's no point of doing that. Like Drake, just be the guy that makes music that everyone dances to and bumps in their car, and let's have other artists like Jid or an old school Common or a No Name or name your favorite like underappreciated rapper. Let's have them take care of the culture, and then we can have both sides fed, right? Like, and that's okay. It's okay to eat McDonald's sometimes.
And
like
and here's the thing, like we on like the haters are having a great time too. They're making their money.
Yes.
Like they're making their money. They're saying like
Yes.
the Iceman line. Iceman was a nice man. What the hell? Like there's a lot of like reactor bait to this album.
Yes,
too. Yeah.
everyone's eating off of Drake. Like this is what Drake's been saying. Like, yo, I've been eating Ross before A and Ross was streaming, right? Like everyone's eating off of a Drake
That's
album.
the one that I don't like of all of like the kind of Beatty lines. The Aiden.
No, the Aiden Ross line is terrible, and I do agree with you, Andrew. Like I think that I agree with all of you actually. I think that Drake is like he's not the hip hop culture, but Drake is the culture right now in like a wider societal context. And that like was anybody like the whole point of the White House account right now is to just post rage bait to get people to go like, can you believe they did this? Can you believe they used a Sabrina Carpenter song? And so, it was like no surprise when they did the same thing with like the MAGA chain on the album. But like, it didn't even like, at least from what I observed on the internet, like it didn't even hit like the same reaction as like when they used like an Olivia Rodrigo song or something. It was just like a collective groan. And that's because like when you're trying to rage bait people, when you're trying to get these reactions, but you're on top, you're no longer that guy off to the side being like, showing everybody how smart you are by yelling at like the power. When you are the power, when you are on top, you can't do that shit anymore. And that's why Drake's gotten really boring, is because he's been on top and he's constantly been telling us how sad he is about being on top, and not having friends in the industry. But then when like that's actually the case, he gets like super pissed and petty, and it's no longer fun and kind of like a kabuki theater sort of way. It's like serious, and like when he brings up Free Palestine on this album, but as a way to diss DJ Khaled, it's just like
Palestine.
Okay, yeah, yeah, he did say that, but like it feels gross, like when he's doing that, to use what's going on over there as like a punchline against like a former associate because he like was coming at you at a diss, like. There's definitely all of these lines on here, the Mr. Nice Man, the ink, like it's totally meant to be streamer react bait, like as people do this. He's clearly like a smart guy who has his finger on the pulse with how you get attention in the attention economy. And he's surrounded with people who clearly know that as well, because like they've, meticulously crafted the rollout to this, like with the Iceman episodes and then the stream, and then at the end of the stream, you announce the 3 albums with the fireworks going off, and then which one do I listen to? Let me start with Habibti. Oh, shouldn't have started with Habibti. But it feels like such a curated, like such like a curated experience of like, this is how we're gonna activate these levers of attention on this, that I think that it's happened so much that it's not even starting to get old. For me, it's been old for a really long time, in the same way that like when you go to an MCU movie and some character from a different movie jumps out and everybody starts clapping, and it's like you're still clapping, like, and we're in Marvel Phase 6 now. Like that was 3 phases ago, man. It's just like all this stuff that it's hard for me. On one sense, yes, everybody in the orbit of this album is going to eat. They're going to talk about it. There's going to be a lot of streams, and it's just this giant ecosystem of people having takes, and you have to have a take because, oh, what's this? Drake's first album from the Beef, and he's dropping 3 albums? What's this? What's he gonna say? Like, it's just this whole thing that feeds into each other that, like, people benefit from it, but like it's just becoming abundantly obvious to see where the strings are on the puppets, like from this whole cycle.
Yeah. Like Pinocchio has no strings. But also like, I don't know. It's like, I don't know what to talk about now because we got like
Little Birdy.
skip mid skip.
Wait.
skip.
Yeah. Sorry. Are we still on like our songs that we want to shout out?
I guess so. Like,
Okay.
what do you want to shout out to?
I'll give a shout out. I'll give a shout out to did anybody I know we shouted out the ink line. Did anybody actually say National Treasures?
Not as an official, no.
Okay. I'll put half of my stamp of approval. I like National Treasures. I actually like both halves of National Treasures with the both beats. I don't like that they're both on the same song. I felt like both of those could have been extended to just be the entire song. And that's kind of another aspect to this album that I don't like, that there's just constant beat switches where it doesn't feel like these songs
can't look at kids need to watch Netflix and have the things that's happening being described to them, like
like it's definitely like, it's again attention economy stuff, but it doesn't feel like these songs really have that much care like put into them when, if there's a cool idea, you didn't need to pivot off of this. And then some songs I wish you did pivot off it, but I like National Treasures with an asterisk, and as dumb as it goes, I do think that Dust is a fun song.
yeah.
Girls from Atlanta, call me sad. Yeah, I mean that's
I like
the
that
vibe.
song.
That's talking about setting the vibe. But I do wish
Yeah,
it had
and then,
road. Similar to what you're saying, like the herky jerky nature of it is like I wish it could have stayed in that zone for a little bit longer, because I would certainly enjoy that portion a little bit more than like, I think my least favorite Drake is like Whisper Angst Drake. I really can't stand Whisper Angst Drake. What else? No, that's like
Oh God,
that
ad-lib.
That's the one I gotta turn off. Or
what else?
But like the album tricks you. Like he says at the end of Make Him Cry, it's like, so when they say dig deeper, I'll tell you this time. And then here it's like, who am I? I'm a FTX penthouse high riser. I'm at the show of your girl on a riser. He's with a mob smoking cigars. He's a BTC crypto big timer. He's a corporate hit survivor. So he's a exorbitantly wealthy crypto peddler mob boss who stole your girlfriend with a victim complex. Like that, like he said, dig deep, and then this is what I got. It's like
that is one of my favorite lines. I'm in the mob at Grey Clip. 20 cigars are fucking my eyes up. I don't know, something visually about that. It's like he's like, I'm here because I'm wealthy, but god damn, these cigars.
I think that's funny. Yeah, I like he's coming for Childish Gambino with the breathing. Like Stanley, you said. Ever since like Camp and Take Care were released on the same day, they've been like got this. They've been at it like
breath for breath.
Yeah.
I actually like the beat switch on Dust, to be honest, because I think that like Girls from Atlanta, like it's just so perfect, and then it's completely different. And I kind of like how that pace car kind of switched up. Whereas National Treasures, I personally really love the first beat. on that one. Like I think that's Drake rapping at his like finest. I think that pocket is perfect for him. I think it sounds like home in many ways. So I like the second part too, but I really, really love the first half of National Treasures. Like that's like chef's kiss on this album.
One more highlight I'll say with like I really like I really like make pay like just like him rapping like just like as like just like a hip hop fan. I just love the he again like I think this is like the most like he'll like get into like these great pockets and like oh my gosh
Yeah.
he's rapping and he's like doing great. And then
It's a nice beat too.
yeah,
Yes.
and then it's like with the there's a Mike Birbiglia joke of just like if you played the team that fights the Harlem Globetrotters, like they're gonna reveal themselves to be really good still. like we're good too. Like but it's because they're fighting against the Harlem Globetrotters that they lose all the time. So there's that, and I like aspects of Firm Friends. I like the conductor beats. It's like the KYS yourself or whatever line is so bad and like like
The Rocky diss.
yeah, like the Toodaloo, Google News, flew the coop through the roof, whoop de woo, like good mosaic rhymes here. Um it's like oh that's the wrong song. Like Firm Friend but the one thing I like about Firm Friends though is this idea that he's like kind of saying of like you don't know which because you're not in my position, you actually don't know which friends would betray you if you became successful like this. You know,
Hmm.
I think that's an interesting idea. I think this is as honest as he could be in this position. Like I think but yeah, like obviously the song is like the some of these songs feel like firmware updates to the Heart Part 6 of just like make them remember and Firm Friends are like just like obviously the joke has been made like this is what I would have said, but like it's like it'll get into a nice pocket and then it'll like have the worst bar in the world and then it's like 2 minutes left of the song and like it goes downhill from there. Like
Yeah, I think that's why Dakota's earlier point of like this album could have been like a 12 track, 40-minute album and really, really, really good. But and that so that Firm Friends is almost I think it's a good track on its own, but within the album, like I'm so like over it at that point that I don't really appreciate it that much because I've heard him talk about his issues with everybody and whatever. And then the what was it? Make them pay. This is why I made that face when John mentioned J. Cole maybe being reconsidering your take. Because I'm like, there was no big three. It was Drake and Kendrick this whole time. And J. Cole, respectfully, didn't
Tyler,
deserve to be part. Sure, put in Tyler. But J. Cole, like the fall off compared to this, the fall off is not close to this. This is way better than the fall. The fall off fell off again after listening to this because he does like J. Cole doesn't do what Drake does at the rate that Drake does it at any point throughout his album.
here's my take on those two. Like, because I was gonna ask that at one point. Like, Iceman is better than the Fall Off. The Fall Off is
100%.
better than the three Drake albums. I would rather listen to the Fall Off than the three Drake albums together.
No, no. I
You
mean, I
would
didn't listen to
subject yourself to Habibti? Like,
I haven't listened to it. So
well,
I
there
don't
you
know. I don't
go.
know.
Like,
But Maid of Honor
Habib
and
T his
this,
ass. Habib T his ass, but Maid of Honor.
Maid of Honor's good.
I'm gonna stop
thought-
myself before I say
Dakota-
some like really
Dakota,
hot take shit.
I thought you were doing like a really cool ad lib, like a Migos like Habibti his ass. Period. Like that's it.
Habib T his ass. Habib T his ass. No, Habib T
else?
his ass, but Maid of Honor. Dare I say, Maid of Honor is better than anything J. Cole has made since Forest Hills.
Yup.
wow.
Wow,
Yep.
I need to listen to it again. I only got through it one time.
Ma-
and I
Maid
was
of
a little
Honor.
confused.
Maid of Honor's not a hip hop album though. Like Maid of Honor's just fucking fun.
Fun. Yes.
It's a good time.
Yes. Maid of Honor is my summer. Like all summertime, I'm listening to that because it's fun. Like you just want to have a good time. You're not thinking about the problems of the world or Drake's problems or whoever else's problems. Whereas this, you kind of have to be in that kind of pocket. And the fall off, you just don't feel anything because there's just like there's nothing to really care about.
think you underestimate how much I brood on a day-to-day, Stanley.
Oh, my mistake. All right.
Any
John,
lowlights on this album?
Let me I just asked John, why did you say J. Cole? Like, reconsider your take after listening to this. Like, what was it?
Well, I just heard. I threw this in the group chat, but I heard a multitude of like mashup tracks over these beats, and I heard one Cole mashup where I was like, "Damn, this dude is flowing like crazy." And I was like, maybe I'm like being a little too harsh on J. Cole when it comes to like his pen specifically. When I'm just seeing lines like dudes are measuring their dick sizes in millimeters and so up under my arm I'm ticklish, and like it's like J. Cole is not saying that. You know what I mean? Like true. So I think I was genuinely coming from like a pen perspective.
You said dick in the booty types at one point.
Okay,
like,
that's
like,
true. That's absolutely true. Actually, still doing research on my take. Actually, low lights. Oh my god, plot twist. Jesus, I laugh at the like attempt of doing the twist, the O and the C and the B, like, and just like, I don't know, Stanley, you are from Toronto, so you know a little bit more about what's going on in these streets. You know, I've always been a little dubious, a little questionable about Drake's mob ties. It's always felt a little bit characterish to me. So like the idea of him like mean mugging someone and like having this interaction, it just feels way too like slice of life gangster track to me.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing, though, right? Like we see that Drake picture behind Andrew, and we think that's the Drake, right? We have this like image of who Drake is, who Aubrey is, but yeah, like Drake is like gang affiliated, you know. Like, I mean, I shouldn't say he is. Like, I don't know, but he Toronto is not the typical Canadian cookie cutter happy-go-lucky place that I think people might think it is. And so just like any other major city, like there are areas, there are pockets, there are, you know, gangs and stuff that's happening in Toronto. And Drake is certainly in those circles. And so when he's saying what he's saying on these records, like it's for real, for real. Like I wouldn't want to run into some of the guys that are OVO and me like talk shit about Drake, because that could be a problem, like a for real problem.
You do not want to mess with OVO Emil or whatever his name is.
But are people like waiting the whole time to get the whole October out, or like would the other guy just like pop? You know what I mean? Like
all I'm saying
there's
is
a lot of letters before shit goes down.
This fall, I'm gonna be spelling the shit out of that month. I'm the O to C to T to O to B to E to R for sure.
I like I beat the producer. What's the BPM? I think that's a great bar. That's kind of like a clever. This album can be very clever at times. I also like the little like skit at the end. It's just like, oh, you're in Drake's friend group, just like kind of that.
Yeah,
but come on, but now we got to go back to the vibes, because the clip is from that's a teenager. Like that girl is like 19 years old. Like you cannot put a 19-year-old on the ICEMAN album after the pedo allegations. Like during the beef, she was not of age. You know what I mean? Like we can't do that.
What else?
And then you can't have like
What else?
Then you can't have like, is this your first time?
It's a very earnest,
you can't have
like,
that. Like, you
clip.
What are you doing?
Very earnest, like, oh, what is that? Like, she's earnestly asking because she genuinely doesn't fucking know, because she just became an adult.
Well, I redact my thing. I low light is a lot of them, but like I think like I want to shout out you know what I miss. Like I want to point out, like, first of all, I had some good lines, like some TLC shit, chili ice pack for your left eye. Very clever, very good. I like that. I don't like in his revenge song, like, you know, like against his ops. He talks about in the middle, he sneaks in this bar about like she might decide to say no to me now, but yes to me later. So like you're including
Crazy line.
You're including
Crazy line
during after the allegations. of you being a Weinstein-y character, and then you're also including this in your revenge song. So like, what does that imply? Like, what is it? It implies that like I'm gonna get revenge by having sex with this woman later when she said no at one point, or just like at women in general. You know, it's just like it really gives me the ick, like severely.
Totally. And
Yeah.
that's what I meant earlier by saying like, the like Drake has always kind of been misogynistic, but it used to be like misogynistic in the way that, I don't know, you'd watch like Dude, Where's My Car or something. But now like it doesn't really have like it doesn't have like the same like level of fun when you're just like threatening sexual assault. It's like, oh, you're kind of taking some of like the distance and mystique and playfulness out of this if you're just like going there.
Because again, like the unraveling of his brand, I think that was like Kendrick and Push's attack was like kind of unraveling the brand and kind of like trying to take the mask off by layer of like, I feel like he was able to plausibly cater to black women like in his early work, and like now like after Scorpion, like during Scorpion, he did Nice for What. He could plausibly write that song. He could plausibly go like, you don't have to like worry about the man. You look good, whatever. And then like this is like after the mask has been revealed even further, it's like this is what's left. This entitlement and this anger and this bitterness is what's left. Like, and it's just sad and it's not fun anymore.
Yeah, I think that there's another line in What Did I Miss? I think. I mean, God, that song has so many bad lines. I cannot get over the Bitcoin line. This shit like BTC could be down this week, could be up this week. Let's go. But I think there's another line on that song where he's like saying her ass is natty like Florida Gator, which like I'm tired of him shouting out college women. And also this album took so long to make that's not even a relevant line anymore on this. Like the Florida Gators did not win the Natty Championship this year, He's got to shout out the Hoosiers, like saying like
what is
I
a
don't know.
Hoosier? Like even like
she feel like a winner when she asks when I ask who's your daddy, let's get that in there. Drake, I'll send you an invoice.
Let's go.
What else?
What are some lowlights for you guys?
Don't worry. Sorry.
Yeah. No, yeah, you go. Don't worry, and go a little Birdy.
Don't worry. I kind of
like
it's obviously
Birdy.
awful. Like, but the messaging's awful. But like,
I was literally gonna say the entire run. I don't like Too Hard for the Radio, but sure, whatever. I'll be generous. I'll give you that one. The entire run from Make Them Remember till the end of the album is just a slog. It's not even that like I don't think that Don't Worry is like the worst song in the world or anything, but to sit through Little Birdy, which is one of the most trash Drake songs I think he's ever put out, to sit through that and then just get to like a very anesthetized version of what old Drake used to be, just like, how long is that song? It's 4 minutes. It's like just for it to be 4 minutes long of him being east side and west side and west side and east side. She gonna pull up to the party. It's like, shut the fuck up.
Janice?
Yeah, shut the fuck up, Audrey. Like, God damn.
I like the break in terms of like, I actually think this album has a good ratio of rapping to singing. Like, I actually think I feel that way. But so like, I like that there's one singy song in here. Just like, I just keep thinking of like Justin Hunt's like wanna see party, like him doing like the impression of the song is very funny. So that's why I got caught in my head. Like, but I also think this ties to the Billionaire talk of just like that's a big low light. Just like his like the values of like just like that make a billionaire of just like the way he wants to have this person his trader suffer is beg on the pavement, struggle with the payment, struggle with the phone bill, just like this like revenge is like this guy's in poverty and I'm a billionaire. And like it's kind of like that's your perverted like kind of revenge plot is just like I don't know. And then the it ties with like just like yeah, it's just a little too much for me.
I also feel like this song, like more than some of these other ones, are like selfie lip sync / caption farming more than the others. Like it's annoyingly like one-liner emoji music, if that makes sense. So that's the biggest reason for me. I just like I this is the skip in the mid skip for me.
Yeah. I also want to shout out Bees on the Table for that, like what I was saying
Bees
before.
on the table.
I like this beat switch, like that's kind of cool.
That was actually a really good 21 Savage impression.
Thank you.
Wow. 41 Savage over here.
Now that's good.
Yeah, like the reason he doesn't need a dinner with Jay-Z is because he's already got the ethos down pat. Like he already has it down pat. Like I remember like I saw the Jeff Bezos interview and the Jay-Z interview of like them kind of justifying why they're billionaires and such. And like Jeff Bezos says that if someone has a product that people love and they keep expanding, eventually they'll have $1 billion. Like there's like if it's like it's what the people want. And then Jay-Z is saying like this is the system I was taught to value, and now that I'm a black man that has earned $1 billion, I'm a bad guy. Also, where's the line? Is a 999 millionaire okay, but not a billionaire? Like, what is the line here? But like the problem is more so that obviously you can't earn $1 billion. Like the people who make your t-shirts need to have like more worth like in this like capitalist system, like to like at least to a living wage, at least to like I don't know. And it just like his solution to his emptiness is not more being a billionaire. Like it's gonna make his suffering worse, and he's gonna be more insufferable. So like I just feel that's just I don't. This song is just so gross to me. So
Well, it's a Homelander effect, to go back to The Boys, since I just watched it. But his son was like, "Yo, Homelander, you want to get more power because you're super lonely, but what's gonna happen is when you get the more power, you're gonna be even lonelier." And so yeah, like becoming a billionaire won't work. But I think Drake is a big cornball for saying like, "Yo, I don't need a dinner with Jay-Z." Drake, you've had dinners with Jay-Z your entire career, so you've done. You made the choice already and you benefited from it. So I think it's kind of cheesy to now say like, oh no, I don't need that dinner with Jay-Z. Like who needs that? But yeah, you're right about the billionaire stuff. However, the hook is great. Like 21 Savage sounds great. So that alone makes it a good addition to this beautiful project.
which is the worst bar? They might take a stick off a pussy like they was transitioning, or dick in the booty types. Which is worse?
John?
Dick in the booty
Man.
types is worse.
Why make me choose between two bad bitches? Am I right? Like
They're having a
what
mid
are we
off.
fucking doing
Like-
here? What are we doing?
Any other low lights?
Well, I'm just gonna stand up for Lil Birdy here
Oh,
because
why?
I like it. I like Lil Birdy. It's weird.
Why are you
It's-
choosing to do us dirty?
It's weird. It's a weird song, and I think any sort of out of the box, out of the ordinary needs to be highlighted and given some form of significance. Like it sounds like it's playing outside of or like coming through like a Bluetooth speaker or something. The processing shouldn't work. It doesn't really work. But the fact that it exists is a little like intriguing to me. Like, why does this song exist? Why is this here? That alone makes Little Bird a highlight because it's just like different and strange.
John, I respect your opinion. That's all I'll say about that.
I wish
Like
Virgil was here to see this in person. I don't know. Even that sentiment is like, oh, like, yeah, Drake does have some like strong feelings about like where he's at and like Virgil being in his circle and like having a friend that's no longer around. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, and then let's follow this through then. Like, I wonder what Virgil would say about all this. I don't know if Virgil would be like, "Yo, this is it. This is the move to make 2 years after this rap battle is to go back into the trenches and try to reclaim some type of victory because you've lost, in a somewhat embarrassing fashion." I don't think Virgil would have been like, "Yeah, let's co-sign this." He'd be like, "Yo, let's move it forward.
But
Let's
that's
find
why
a
it
new
also
lane."
it's small. That's what I think thematically, like in like how it sounds too, like speaks to that uncertainty too. Like it's like a little like minuscule and like pipsqueak ish. Like he doesn't have the
Little
answer.
birdie-ish, if you will.
Okay. I don't know.
Yeah,
It
he
works.
doesn't. You're right. You're right. I think on a different project it could work, but you've just spent so much time establishing this bravado and this almost like shield that to now kind of sneak in this little kind of whispering voice or birdie that's kind of giving a different insight. I think kind of gets lost at this point of the album. Like Dakota said, like there's so much mid skip at this point that I don't even want to do that exercise of giving them credit and being a bit more introspective. I just want to get to the end.
Make Them Remember and Firm Friends are kind of the same song of just like copium for like 12 to like 12 minutes straight. Um just what's it called? Like Make Them Remember is full of, I'm not gonna lie, this shit was good exercise. It's good to get the pen working, just like a bunch, like a lot of those lines. Like
Dude,
I have
like that entire song is like the shower thoughts 2 days after an argument.
the only like strong, like I think the strongest like kind of angle he has is dissing Dr. Dre, like kind of the hypocrisy of that. Like when that was happening, that wasn't like, and like how Dr. Dre has a weird case and stuff, and like kind of the abuse allegations and stuff, and like how it kind of was papered over because of how great the pop out was. And then just like kind of like doing kind of pointing out the hypocrisy there. Like that's the only kind of strong angle he's got. Um, just like but like less strong is like Janice STFU, where he says like white people listen to you because they feel some guilt, which like doesn't make sense because Fantano pointed out like who are your white fans then? Like what do your white fans get out of you? Like it obvious that is a problem. Like I think the white fan thing is a problem, but like I think wrong messenger for that one.
Yeah, that's like the problem with a lot of the lines on here though. Is like it's like any valid points that could be made from some of like the things that he's pointing out, like him going at DJ Khaled about Free Palestine. It's like, you know, it's just so nakedly coming from an ugly place of not caring about the issue at hand and using them as punchlines. Instead of speaking up for Palestinians, it's like, just him being like, you didn't do this. I'm not a pedophile. It's like he's
What
like
else?
copying Elon Musk when remember when those kids got rescued from that cave and Elon Musk was like, I bet the diver was a. It was like, what the fuck? I didn't think that.
uh Also the line about like, you think I didn't see that you stayed silent, that's like you endorsing it, might as well stand behind them. Who are you standing behind? Like sounds like you and a certain orange buffoon. Like, like you're the one like not speaking up about things. Like, like you're the one. Wow, live according to your values. Like there's no
You
value.
don't even have to get into. You don't even have to get into like the Trump stuff, which I like. I think for all of like the MAGA codedness of Drake's newish music, I really don't think it's that MAGA coded. I just think that it's like I think it's like manosphere coded, which I think is a meaningful distinction. It's either way, it's not good stuff. But like, Drake, like you don't even have to take those big of leaps, right? Drake has aligned himself with Chris Brown, and like on the same diss track that he had towards Kendrick, where he was like alleging that Kendrick beat his wife, he gave Chris Brown a shout out in that song, like at the beginning of the song, it's just such like such a paper tiger he is to like be using these things as punchlines when he so openly shows himself to not give a shit about any of it,
Mhm. Yeah. And then like the line about like the mic, like having Michael Jackson's glove on this album, and then in Family Matters, you're saying like Michael wanted to be white, and like so like blatantly like disrespecting the one thing that's like kind of like not a valid criticism of him. Like he didn't want to be white. He was like he had vitiligo and everything. Like and like I don't know, like he just gets away with he gets away with it, and like it's too bad. Any final thoughts? Any stray observations?
Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to Future because somehow Future that
Somehow
he
Future returned. Like
no, he ignited this whole beef with his track, and then he then magically appeared on both J. Cole and Drake's albums, and it's like it's all good. Like Future's got some game, man. Like I don't know what he's whispering, but he's got some real game. So I just want to shout out Future for being that guy, for being him. Future is him.
Future's like the rap game Littlefinger from Game of
Ah,
Thrones.
yes,
He's just
yes,
he's seeing where the wind blows, and he's like, you know what?
yes.
Why don't we start hanging out a little bit?
I was going to be like Mac from It's Always Sunny, of just like kind of like
Yeah.
yeah, just like whatever, something along the lines of like I always flip flop because I always end up on top. Like just like kind of like
Yeah.
yeah. It's just such a it works because like Drake Future has no morals either. Like he doesn't seem like a person to who like stands on things, and like he might have been just completely zonked out during the beef and he didn't even know he was dissing Drake the entire time. I don't know, it's gross. Like I don't like the nut on the sheets and she laying it. That's gross. We sharing women at the height of my success, that's gross too.
Dude, do your laundry.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Well, no, he'd have to use YouTube. He doesn't know how to do that.
Yeah. That's funny.
Oh, that's good. That's the quote right there. Do your laundry.
I don't know. Future and Drake are the types of people to like high five each other. Like in Habibti, there's a line about like high fiving the guys after not paying a sex worker their fair share, and then in this album, he's so like Drake and Future are friends like that. They're not like playing Quiplash together or like just like like Scrabble or whatever. Like I don't think they're like friends in that way. So, any other stray observations?
That kind of thread. Molly Santana, New Hannah, Montana. Molly Santana, New Hannah, Montana. Like lots of energy from that small verse.
Yeah.
Yes.
It
Agreed.
felt very like Kanye of just like introducing a new voice into like the ether of like I really love the diamonds on diamonds on hammers, and like the beat like kind of like lifting with that section. It's so good.
Yeah, agreed.
But then he goes, "ICEMAN turn." Like, all right.
What else?
What else?
That's valid.
You-
Just like whatever.
You are all much braver men than I for returning to that song. I can't stand Ran to Atlanta. Ran to Atlanta gave me like the vibe of like two creepy old barflies who like still think they got it, but they don't,
Yeah,
It
yeah.
like it's just like Ran to Atlanta, like you're taking the not like us line, you're getting the guy who started this like all back on there, like he's just putting it so far in our faces to like show how unfazed he is. And like, Atlanta, what's the line that he says in the song? Like, Atlanta, tell you about the run I've been or something.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, just take the L. Stop.
Yeah.
Like
go
I said,
go back to whole phase. Go back to cheetah print. Give me that.
Yes, give me
Like
that
I don't
cheetah
want to.
print.
Yeah, you don't smack that ass till it leave a print. Like I don't want to know about Ran to Atlanta. Like this shit sucks. Like
Yo, on my last listen
what
of this
else?
before the recording, I listened to it again, and that was my first skip. Was Ran to Atlanta. I'm like, okay, I
Wow.
don't need to hear it again. I mean, Molly Santana, I love, but everything else, I'm like, yeah, like you said, Dakota, it's just, I don't know, it's just not it, you know.
One of his
Yeah,
strategies.
and
Sorry,
go
yeah.
ahead.
One of his strategies is to double down. Just like any like accusation Kendrick does is just like when I see you stand by Sexy Red, I believe you see two bad bitches, and like I'm gonna have 2, 3 songs of Sexy Red, and like some of it's like fine, like some of it's just like you're kind of like attacking me, but like what's wrong with that? Like Sexy Red's my friend, my collaborator, whatever. Like that one's fine, but like this one of just like doubling down in terms of like running to Atlanta again and like kind of colonizing the sound. Like I think there's doubling down in terms of like this is a ridiculous allegation, so I'm gonna double down on it, or just like doubling down in terms of like, yeah, and I'm gonna get away with it. I'm gonna get away with this. I think there's something there to that.
Yeah, but I think it's like, we earlier, I think it was John and I were saying how he's acknowledging his loss, the loss in the beef throughout this record. And that's an example of that, like him acknowledging that, that impacted him. The fact that Kendrick called out his play of going to Atlanta whenever he needs some type of hit, he goes there. And so he went there again to like, to your point, to kind of say like, yo, okay, I'm going to do it now. What? But it's really proving the point of, you need that source to be able to produce something that you determine to be a club hit. And I'm sure it's a club smash. I'm sure it's going to hit, but it just doesn't hit for me.
Yeah, let's go through final thoughts and ratings. The way this works is we'll rate this out of 10 with a fun metric at the end. Who would like to go first?
I'll go first. I'll go first. I'll go first. Drake, as a fellow Canadian Torontonian, I just want to say that I see you, I feel you, I recognize your greatness, and I don't want you to stop making music. So keep doing your thing. I'm gonna give this album a 7.5 Canadian dollars spilled over a large double double from Tim's with a Canada Goose jacket on and a Toronto Maple Leaf fitted hat because we are going to win the cup one of these days. Out of 10.
This is kind of in tandem with a stray observation that I had. I think that this album. I think that dropping the 3-pack of this album works against this album's favor. I think I like this album much less. Like I never was gonna love it based on what I heard, but having this stand side by side with Maid of Honor is just such a night and day difference of how much fun I'm having or like what I want to return to. And I think that this album, to borrow a line from Shebang, when he says, "How is the beef is cooked?" Like this style of Drake, this album style that he's been putting out, the Certified Lover Boy, the For All the Dogs, the Scorpion, Dark Lane demo tape, whatever. This main style of Drake album is done. I cannot pretend, like I will always listen when an album drops for the memories that I had of yesteryear of like having a good time with those albums. Like as long as he has cultural relevance, like why the hell not? But like it's done. He built up Iceman for 2 years. This isn't it. Certified Lover Boy was not it. For All the Dogs was not it. It's just not it. He can't do this style of album anymore. And I'm like, I'm not even, I haven't pretended in a long time that he can, but like, this just further goes to show that he has lost it with this style of music, but he can still make good music. That's the light at the end of the tunnel, you know. Maid of Honor, we didn't talk about it nearly that much because it's its own whole thing, but I largely like that one. There's a couple songs on here that I think are fun. You know, we name dropped a few songs, Dust, National Treasures, whatever, Make Them Cry. Um, there's some joy to be had here, but very little, and he overshadowed himself. So, like, honestly, I'm giving this a 3 out of 10.
Wow.
Respect. I'm gonna preface this with whatever I gave the fall off is gonna be retconned, and I'm gonna say that these get the same score. I don't foresee myself going back to the fall off. This is a little bit more fun as it pertains to like where Drake was, say, Scorpion and onward to like now. I think I mentioned this. My expectations, similarly to Dakota, like this recipe is like overdone. But over the course of like the listens that I've like had a weird psychological journey where I feel like I've arrived in this like post irony appreciation. Like I don't know. It's weird. It's so fucking stupid. Like you have to listen to this with stupid glasses on. Like I don't. It's like brought to you in collaboration with the people that gave you flat Earth theory. We've got Iceman. Like I don't know. There's something so you have to be stupid to believe it. Like there's something about that. But like if you can genuinely submerge yourself into this world, then like there's some vibes, there's some silliness, there's some fun to be had. I don't know if it's Drake with the melodies, Drake act tough. I don't even think I care about either of those. It's more so like what song gives a certain feeling to me. And there are some moments. So I think I'm gonna land solidly in the mid of this with 5, dare I say, what else is not because I'm looking for anything else, but just like I don't know, Iceman. Oh, fucking no clue. So yeah, 5 for Iceman, retconning the fall off, number below 5. So what? 4 for fall off, retroactive rating there.
He can't keep getting away with this. Like I think that's my vibe on the album of just like Jesse Pinkman saying that. I just like, yeah, it's like it's. I think he needed to do an album like that. I think the fans demanded like an album like this, and like this is as good as it could be. This album is as good as it could be. Like, and with its dumb contradictions, with its just like throwing shit at the wall approach, with like some incredibly clever, smart raps, like with awesome production, like entertaining me most of the time. Like, whether it's like from its goodness or from its badness. But like, this is like a really impressive ice sculpture that's like gonna melt and like is gonna turn into like tepid water. Yeah, like that was Professor Sky's joke. It's like tepid water, man. So I gotta give it 7 toes in quicksand out of 10. So yeah. All right, yeah, that was our review of Iceman. Will Iceman season continue after this week? I don't know. I'm looking forward to not listening to this anymore. You can follow me at Andrew Ambrose Lee. You can follow Stanley at Snap a Stan, John at John Butts is here, Dakota at down_with_fun, and Dakota. Any like final sentiments?
Whoa. No, I wasn't expecting the ball. No, I don't know. Listen to Maid of Honor. If you're gonna listen to one Drake album, just make it Maid of Honor.
Yeah, yeah. We survive the let out? I don't know. Like,
Will we survive the Iceman?
like, well, thanks so much, everybody. Have a good day. Click.
Woo.